Got it and done. All right, y'all. Peaceful greetings to you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwestern Maxim. How are you? Guys, welcome to our AstroCivics Sunday. This is number 60 for our Holy Koran Devotional Countdown. We are at chapter 14, guys. All righty, which means we're just about 3.5 moon cycles away from completing our Holy Koran Devotional. All righty. And like I said, we're going in on chapter 14. Day has 31 verses. Or for those of us that like to have fun with adept thinking, we are on degree 14, and that has 31 minutes within it. So without further ado, I'm going to share the screen here. And we're going to do our invocation in terms of Moorish American prayer here in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions book from RVBayPublications.com. We're here at pages 48 and 49. On page 48, handsomely standing due guard in his Moorish Sharif says, and Abba is Prophet Noble Drali. And on the page 49, we see our authority, right? As far as those of us that are sincerely studying and looking at what Prophet Noble Drali has divinely prepared for us to be able to utilize really for our benefit in a non-selfish and uniting kind of fashion. Non-selfish, yet we're being, unified in our mindset, in time, in effort, in title, all of the above, right? So with that being said, guys, let's go in on our invocation in here, termed the Moorish American prayer, all righty? We're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right. All righty. You guys can repeat after me, either aloud or in your heart, as we face east and have our feet on a 45-degree angle. As we go in on the Moorish American prayer. Islam. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Ameen. All righty, guys. Excelente. Let's get into the 2 letters to be read in every meeting. First letter to be read in every meeting comes from Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions, pages 84 and 85. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drali on the 18th day of January, 1928, and on Domini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drali, founder. Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929, to be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, Islam, I'm glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finances badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause. Noble Drew Ali. Now we're here in the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper, pages 12 and 13. And on page 12, handsomely standing due guard is Prophet Noble Drali and his Moorish Sharif Fez and Abba. And on page 13, divine warning by the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea that all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All right. And let's get right to it. Chapter 14 here, right? Got you. All righty. Islam. All right, I'm just doing my best to monitor here. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to come in and monitor the chat just to see if anyone's here right now. Let's turn this down here. All righty. Consuelo says, peace and love, dear brother. Indeed, Mama Consuelo, Islam to you. Brother Derek Glash Bay says, peaceful greetings, everyone. Peaceful greetings to you, Brother Derek. And Mother Sahar L says, peaceful greetings to everyone. Peaceful greetings, beloved Mother Sahar. Peaceful greetings to ye all. All righty, so we're here at chapter 14. John, the Harbinger, returns to Hebron, right? Lives as a hermit in the wilds, visits Jerusalem, right? Jerusalem, and speaks to the people. It's very interesting because if you take some of these terms like John and Hebron and Jerusalem and go to like the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore, you know what I'm saying? You know, you'll actually get some real good fruit further into it, and you can replace certain things. Like John is grace, unmerited favor, right? You know, look up what Hebron is. Look up what Jerusalem is, or Jerusalem, which is more of the place where, you know, deals with the heart and spiritual consciousness being built up more. But what I would rather you guys do is not believe what I'm saying. Look in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore. It's provided to you in Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. All right. And be able to really see the it's a richness there when you really see what the metaphysics is behind this, so that you can be able to make the best choices on your reason and exercise your will properly by comprehending the metaphysics pertaining to the law books being the holy books and the holy books being the law books. So you can see that this is all about your consciousness tied to your endocrine system. All righty. And when you're going through, you know, these different levels of consciousness tied to your endocrine system, it is, you know, in harmony and in tandem with the proper use pertaining to ye will. All righty. And that's really how I see it thus far, according to my studies. All right. Minute 1. It came to pass when John, the son of Zacharias and Elizabeth. Now, again, John, to me, like I said, is unmerited favor. You know, you're getting favor that you can't earn. Zacharias, like Zachariah is remember, or to call upon will remember, right? Where some people say God will remember. That's Zacharias, right? Yes, Mother Sahara is correct. She says the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary is extremely helpful. Yes, it is, Mother. It really is. You know what I mean? And it makes me think like maybe we'll have some fun with that, you know, one day. I know we've done it before in the past. Maybe I can take you guys through some things so you can actually see how to be able to go into the word and look at these things so you can edify yourself, not for you to get converted to some situation. This is all about self-study. It's all about self-mastery. It's all about going within, being hermetic, because a hermit is not just someone who just stays to themselves on the outside. That's not what a hermit actually is. Something being hermetic means it's sealed. Something hermetically sealed means it cannot be open. It has no ways or means of actually being open, right? It's not like you can twist the cap off of it and put it back on. That's semi-hermetic sealing, right? So something hermetically sealed would be how ye are within inside yourself. So everyone has the means to be hermetic and use hermetic principles, like the 7 hermetic principles, because these are things that are being internalized with inside oneself, pertaining to your own consciousness, tied to your endocrine system, with proper reasoning to help you exercise the ultimate goal in properly using your will. Period. All right. But yeah, Zacharias, God will remember. Elizabeth, like my house is God, or God's house. So if you think about how grace or unmerited favor comes from God remembering being in God's house, or God remembering in God's house, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it looks like. But then when you break down the word God, and you know, God is a verb that means to call upon, and then it takes you back to speak things that are not as though they were. And then what you can see is it's like, oh, unmerited favor is the new thought, because son or children would be like these new thoughts that spring up when you look in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. So Zacharias is to call upon will remember, right? And Elizabeth is to call upon is my house, or my house is to call upon, right? So those two things coming together, you know, to call upon remembers in the house or something like that would be the unmerited favor, right? Just a way of looking at it, you know, when, you know, substituting. However, let's get through it. That's my last example to encourage you to go into the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary on your own. So it came to pass when John, son of Zacharias and Elizabeth, had finished all his studies in the Egyptian schools, he returned to Hebron, where he abode for certain days. 2. And then he sought the wilderness and made his home in David's cave, in Beloved's cave, where many years before he was instructed by the Egyptian sage. Some people call him Hermit of Engedi. And others said, quote, he is the wild man of the hills, end quote. 4. He clothed himself in skins of beasts. His food was carobs, honeys, nuts, and fruits. And you guys can look and see, like, what's carobs, right? What's carobs? Look and see what that is. Why would somebody be feeding their body these things? Maybe there's a hint there or something, right? 5, when John was 30 years of age, he went into Jerusalem, and in the marketplace he sat in silence 7 days. 6, the common people and the priests, the scribes and Pharisees, came out in multitudes to see the silent hermit of the hills, but none were bold enough to ask him who he was. 7, but when his silence was done, he stood forth in the midst of all and said, behold, the king has come. The prophets told him. The wise minds, because man is mind, so men is minds, the wise men long have looked for him. Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king. And again, remember, if you're looking at this metaphysically, you know that this is something that is completely internal in each and every one of us. It's just up to us to really comprehend it. No different than near Hindustan, or what they call India, anciently and firstly, to my studies as far as Sindhu, that name being after the river. Peaceful greetings, Mother Janelle, Islam. So when you look at this metaphysically, you get a certain fruit out of this. You get a certain richness, all righty, and you can be able to certainly digest and get to see and know what was actually meant. So out there near Sindhu, you know how they have like yogic practices and things like that. When comprehending the metaphysics, that's how we're able to do what we do and going within and edifying and bettering ourselves, right? And properly using the word that way. 10. And that was all he said. And then he disappeared and no one knew where he had gone. 11. And there was great unrest through all Jerusalem. The rulers heard the story pertaining to the hermit of the hills. And they sent couriers forth to talk to him, that they might know about the coming king. But they could not find, but they could find him not. 13. And after certain days, he came again into the marketplace, and all the city came to hear him speak. He said, 14, quote, "Be not disturbed, you rulers of the state. The coming king is no antagonist. He seeks no place on an earthly throne." Which means it's talking about the I am identity within oneself. The throne that it wants to seat is where the soul sits. Period. So that goodness, that higher self, that higher thinking, that Israelitish thinking can be upheld by the Egyptian thinking. The Egyptian thinking being the material thinking, and the Israelitish thinking being the spiritual thought, the spiritual thinking, right? So the material thinking upholds the spiritual thinking. That's correct. That's the correct way to do things. All right. All right. And continuing, he comes the Prince of Peace, the King of righteousness and love. His kingdom is within the soul. I just said that. In other words, I didn't even remember that line was next, and I didn't read ahead. I'm just very grateful and thankful that I have taken this time these past 9 years to sincerely study. No, I didn't chase the bag. I've developed my consciousness a certain way to just be in harmony and be right as far as within myself and comprehend the metaphysics, knowing my astrology, reading these things and studying these things and never letting them go. I'm not letting them go, and passing them down with every intention to pass them down and share with my little ones, right? The little ones that I helped to make. So shout out to my beloved mother, mistress, consort as well, right? 15. The eyes of minds, right? Eyes of men shall see it not, and none can enter but the pure in heart. Again, this is pertaining to the metaphysics. This is not, ooh, that's so deep, brother. I've said many ways and plenty of times what it actually is. And I trust you guys are able to benefit from what I'm saying as far as really getting the metaphysical Bible dictionary, with this going, right? C. Thomas, peaceful greetings, beloved brother, Islam, right? All right, and continuing. All righty. Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king, quote unquote. 17, again, the hermit disappeared. The people strove to follow him, but He had drawn a veil about his form, and men could see him not. Interessante. Jewish feast day came. Jerusalem was filled with Jews and proselytes. Proselytes. Forgive me. From every part of Palestine. And John stood in the temple court and said, and you guys should look that up. You should look up Jew or Jewish in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Again, Jerusalem. Look up Palestine. See what all these words actually mean pertaining to ye consciousness tied to your endocrine system as you're on this journey and being taught and reminded that ye are a born master, born perfect, here to properly use your will. Period. 20. Oh, pardon me, 19. Prepare, quote, prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king, end quote. 20. So you have lived in sin. The poor cry in your streets and you regard them not. Your neighbors, who are they? You have defrauded friends and foes alike. You worship a law with voice and lip. Your hearts are far away and set on gold. Right? Bag chasing. They say things out their mouth to make it sound like they're spiritual or in tune or in harmony with the universe or they're woke or they're conscious. But they're only saying those things so that there is some type of financing coming their way from the people. While those of us who are actually, you know what I mean, comprehending these things, those of us that are pure in heart, we are getting the least amount of donations and financial support. But we still continue to share these things. I, Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, still continue to share these things. All right. Because I do see the bigger picture. And I'm thankful for what contributions come. All right. I already know there's going to be much more. Much more. Right. I think maybe the people have to get their hearts broken a little more by those that are only professing by mouth and not actually living it. You know, they haven't made the sacrifice. You know, some people think, oh, if I stop chasing the bag, I'm going to look like some kind of bum, you know, whatever the case may be. It's like, I dig. Hey, J. Alexander Dix, hey, what's going on, bro? Peace and love to you. And Mother Sahar says, indeed. Right? All right. And you guys soon, those of you that are part of TUPAC, I will be uploading the video. I know I sent out the emails yesterday for the members for TUPAC as far as what got recorded yesterday. And I will make sure that that video will be in the drive very soon. All right. At the latest Monday. All right. All right. And continuing. 23. Your priests have bound upon the people burdens far too great to bear. They live in ease upon the hard-earned wages of the poor. Your lawyers, doctors, scribes are useless cumberers of the ground. They are but tumors on the body of the state. That's a breach of trust. Seriously, that's a breach of trust. Being outlined in 23 and 24. Yeah, I definitely don't know, except by the grace of the universe. Yeah, I don't know any way of so-called ease. You know what I mean? Living in ease. You know, when there are when there's little to no, when there's evidence of little to no support. However, I again am thankful and grateful for those of you that have support and do support. Right? See, Thomas says, indeed. Consuelo says, they still got to learn that the bag isn't the bag they thought it was. Indeed, I can't knock that. That's a very true statement. Very true. 25. They toil not, neither do they spin, yet they consume the profits of your marts of trade. Mm. That sounds like leeches. Not only are they tumors, but that sounds like leeches. People that want to tax you for doing what it is that you do. Right? 26. Your rulers are adulterers, which means they have no fidelity. They've breached trust. I'm not making this up. This is why even when those of you that are part of lawful living, you hear me speak the way that I speak, and I get it, man. I'm a Scorpio moon. It's either you gonna fuck with me or you not. I get it. You know what I mean? I can't change and I can't lie to myself. So all I can do is just be a brother, tell you the truth, and if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, you don't. To the both of those. What am I supposed to do? Put a burden on myself and then lie and try to be cool and make you feel comfortable, when I'm finding comfort in seeing like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? I got Vertex and Scorpio at 29 degrees. So I'm on a path to self-mastery. So when I'm reading this, even though I'm on YouTube, I'm ministering to myself first. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it brings me joy in continuing to read this. You feel me? Because it helps me in, even when I go, we go and study jurisprudence, and we can see the difference between at law and the difference between at law and equity. You know what I'm saying? And the mindset that I have when I can draw these things immediately back to my mind, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali's divinely prepared literature still is at the forefront of my mind. That's where I keep it. That's where I keep Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because I've had a different experience, and maybe I'm just living my chart, and I'm unapologetic about it. And so I trust everyone is able to really see the energy pertaining to what Prophet Noble Drew Ali divinely prepared and what we're continuing to study, and to see that we've always had these things at our disposal. It's just our comprehension that's allowing us to better form it so we can be a better community, and then have these beings that are so-called rulers of the state or whatever they may be. We can respectfully remove them. All right. Mother Sahar says, trust breachers. Indeed. Brother Derek says, keep. Brother Maurice Hall Bay says, great evening, peace and love. Indeed, brother. Peace and love to you. And Brother Derek Glash Bay says, you always keep it real, Hasan. Yep. Indeed, beloved brother. Gratitude. 26. Your rulers are adulterers, extortioners, and thieves. Reminds me of chapter 9. So maybe if y'all want to kind of go forward and go and read chapter 9, in the Quran, and remember the thieves, extortioners, drunkards, and courtesans, right? Stick up boys, tax collectors, ones getting drunk in the thoughts was who Jesus was talking to when he was invited to a cookout by a kingpin. Yeah, I put it in hood terms because that's how I saw it. I was like, whoa, like my man got everybody get off the block. Ain't nobody robbing, killing, selling no drugs. Ain't nobody selling anybody. Look, come to this barbecue and hear my man teach. Jesus in the hood. Like, Jesus is in the hood. All y'all stop that. Nah, stop that. Stop. You over there. Stop. Come on over here. Grab yourself a plate. Sit down. Listen to my man speak. That's how I see chapter 9. When you guys read it yourself, you'll see it. You will see it, right? Your rulers are adulterers, extortioners, and thieves, regarding not the rights of any man. Sheesh. Jesus Christ. Yo, that's what everybody's having an issue about. Everybody's having an issue right there. The law books are the holy books, and the holy books are the law books. This is only chapter 14. And remember, we've been reading this Quran from chapter 48 on down to 1. It's a Holy Koran Devotional countdown. There's really not one chapter in the Quran that isn't fire. It is amazing. This book is amazing. "27. And robbers ply their calling in the sacred hills, the holy temple you have sold to thieves." So I don't speak badly about the prophet or the temple. Per Prophet Noble Drew Ali's intent. However, there are thieves and embezzlers that may purport that they run the movement or the Moor Science Temple of America, INC. Like that, Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't bring the INC. And I'm not ragging on anyone. And I'm not looking to I'm not going into no debates or anything like that. Chapter 14 is outlining a very present reality that everyone is witnessing in some way, shape, or form. Today, yesterday, tomorrow. Period. Suelo says Islam. Brother C. Thomas says adjective large or heavy and therefore difficult to carry or use. Unwieldy. Cumbersome. Got you. Look up cumberers too. Cumberer. Look up what a cumberer is. C. Thomas says, remind me of the metaphysical website. Indeed. Brother Derek Blash-Bay says, human equality. Consuelo is laughing. And Brother Derek Blash-Bay says, Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore. Islam. So we're at 27, and robbers ply their calling in the sacred hills. The holy temple you have sold to thieves. Their dens are in the sacred places set apart for prayer. I mean, it almost doesn't seem like I need to ad-lib much. Like, anyway, here we go. 28. Hear, you people of Jerusalem, reform. The people got to reform. Because remember, when you look at like the CAFR, the Comprehensive Annual Financial Reports of any state or county or city or whatever, and you see the hierarchy of who it is, at the top, above the so-called head of the government of the state, is the people. And they'll be called either residents, voters, or citizens, something like that. They'll be called that. That's who really needs to know jurisprudence and the difference between at law and equity. The people need to know the difference so that they can be able to reform those offices where they've entrusted their equals to discharge the duties for the benefit of the people. It's very simple. It's not complicated. But it's something will click soon, I trust. And the people will all be on, there'll be a culture that really is about keeping those that are in office in check for the benefit of the people, so that the people don't have to be burdened with, oh, I got to go punch a clock to go get some sustenance for my family and things of that nature and this, and that, and that. No, people will all have what is needed. And I'm not talking any isms. Oh, communism, or that's socialism, or that's... It's fairness. What is, do we have a problem with fairness? It seems like there's been a war on fairness for many years. All right. Reform. Turn from your evil ways, or Allah will turn from you, and heathen from afar will come. Right? And what is left of all your honor and your fame will pass in one short hour. In other words, it'll all be over. No one will remember you. There'll be no way to revive it, any of that. 29, quote, prepare Jerusalem, prepare to meet your king, end quote. Don't, take this like, ooh, something that happened on the outside 2,000 years ago and things like I said. You read these things with the metaphysical Bible dictionary right next to you, or you got two devices open, and one you read in the Quran and the other one you read the metaphysical Bible dictionary, and you see these things and you keep replacing, the names and the names of places and the names of the characters, and replace it with what their metaphysical definition is. It will baptize you in perpetuity. It will baptize you continuously. 30. He said no more. He left the court and no one saw him go. 31. The priests and the doctors and the scribes were all in rage. They were heated. Heated. They sought for John, intent to do him harm. They found him not. They looked for John. They wanted to hurt him. Priests, doctors, and scribes wanted to inflict harm. These are trustees. So imagine those thoughts within your consciousness, within inside yourself, that seek to do harm to the unmerited favor within yourself. But they're never successful. Those things that seek to do you harm that are within inside yourself, that may just be chalked up as self-destruction. Self-destruction never kills or does harm to intent. The common people stood in his defense. They said, the hermit speaks the truth. And then the priests, the doctors, and the scribes were sore afraid. They said no more. They hid themselves away. What made the priests, the doctors, and the scribes now they're so scared that they're hurting, that they're scared, and then they had to hide themselves? This is why I've been saying the people need to know the jurisprudence. This is why the information needs to be out there. But you got so many people out there that are competing because they want to still be co-trustees. They want to have Federal Reserve notes. They want to cut the throat of people who started lawful living. I know it wasn't us. We were invited by Moor. I was invited by 2 Moorish mothers. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with this information. And met many people from going there. Even the people who are taking the information from lawful living and throwing their own classes, promoting them through TikTok. so that they can be able to live in ease. There's a lot that's going to come to the forefront between January 1st and January 20th. But especially after January 20th, it's going to be so much being exposed. And then while Saturn's transiting Pisces, it's going to be a lot more exposure. So if you're not really solid with who ye say ye are, you're not really solid with what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought, and being consistent, and things get tough, and you got to be like, man, it's tough right now. Look, let me just go to my Quran. Let me go to my 101. Let me go to my Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. Let me look at any of the divinely prepared literature by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You know what I mean? Let me bring myself to remember, if we ever get to that type of point, so that we can all comprehend that a lot of us are doing the right thing. It is the people who need to defend those of us that speak the truth. Just defending those that speak the truth make those that were entrusted with certain offices afraid and hide. I mean, does this make sense to y'all? Mother Sahar says that's freedomism, right? See, Thomas, I see the gratitude hands there, brother. Indeed, Mother Sahar says that's freedomism. That's funny, Mother Sahar. Brother C. Thomas says, many, my brother. 1443. Brother C is laughing at Mother Sahar. Freedomism. Mother Sahar is laughing. And Consuelo says, okay, there's my question. The difference in equity between conscious Moors and private U.S. citizens. Is there one? And if so, what is it specifically? Brother Derek says, yes, love and respect. U.S. citizens are in the person of office, so their stuff is at law. I see no equity for U.S. citizens. A U.S. citizen is some trust agency that is to do things on behalf of the posterity, which is us. We're the posterity pertaining to we the people of the United States. And I'm not saying look at the United States, oh, that's a corporation. Moorish Holy Temple of Science is a corporation that adopted as its corporate name Moorish Science Temple of America. So when a group of people are acting collectively, it's called a corporation. It's a body of people, right? I'm not knocking it. I'm putting things in perspective so that we do not demonize and criminalize things, some things that are in place for us, according to my thinking and my studies. But you guys don't have to, believe anything I say. I don't even suggest that. I trust that what I'm sharing based off of what my studies are this far, you're able to get some insight to help develop however you see it. And if you come to the same conclusions I've come to, then great. We can help to defend the hermit that speaks the truth. We can stand in defense. Man, I really hope this was good for everyone. I really do. Right? Guys can continue to support us, right? I look forward to your support. The Cash App will be in the chat. It's OurAstrologyStreet, OurAstrologyStreet, right? OurAstrologyStreet. And that's the Cash App. If you want to use Zelle or Google Pay, just ask me. Right? You can email me at 7hillstar.com. Just, can look at it that way. No equity for U.S. citizens. So in order to get equity, you must have a nationality. I think a lot of people are going to come to the conclusion that even a lot of stuff that these Albion sons and daughters been pushing in their processes and stuff like that, at the end of the day, Moors, those of us that are speaking the truth, that are sincere, true, and faithful, we've been saying the answer all the time, the whole time. The people do not trust themselves enough to study what's actually being said and seeing that it is what needs to be done. A lot of people are busy doing their best to take charge of the situation and try to make it seem like Prophet Noble Drew Ali is some guy from 100 years ago who said something good for that time, but not now. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Right? So, yeah, people need to have a nationality. And I'm not saying no one doesn't. Everybody has a nationality. However, there is a certain, you'll see, there's going to be a lot of people who is going to try to say, well, I'm not trying to be anything special. And a lot of people are just trying to find a way to help save the Albion too. But the Albion salvation, and I'm saying this respectfully, is, remember, everybody's got to get back in order. So we get back in order, those of us that know who we are, we declare and proclaim our nationality, we know this history, we know what things are, then that means that our Albion sons and daughters are our subjects that we are to treat kindly. Period. I'm not saying be foolish and let somebody mistreat you or try to do you harm. No matter if they're, a copper tone being or a pale skin being. Let no one do harm to anyone. However, when you're speaking order and the degrees on which we think, those of us with copper tone skin have 720 degrees pertaining to our comprehension and consciousness, when our Albion sons and daughters may only resonate at 33 degrees. So to keep them from digging into a nature that is destructive, we're to do the right thing that we know. I'm not saying be immoral. I'm not saying be a chump. What I'm saying is do the right thing. Do no harm. However, if you can't run from a fight, drop the world on whomever is trying to do you harm. Period. Mother Sahar says, yes, excellent, sincere gratitude, Brother Hasan. She also says, pure in heart. Brother C. Thomas says, agendas of people who are more educated than me can and should keep those agendas, but let me grow from the smallest aspect. Indeed, trust ourselves is for real. Trust of ourselves is for real. Yeah, because then it won't, what I say won't seem like I'm so deep. What I'm actually saying things is very simple. I think what's happening is everyone is coming to their own conclusions based in their comprehension because they have to. They have to have a hermetic journey. It is a journey that is within self. It's a conflict that cannot be told in words because it's something that you have to experience according to your consciousness tied to your endocrine system, being reasonable within inside yourself and properly using your will. Right? And Consuelo says Islam. Indeed. So guys, let's close out. All righty. We're going to do our invocation out. I appreciate you guys interacting with me in the chat. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. I look forward to seeing you all next day for Intuition Monday. I'll actually see how it goes. I might have a different kind of idea for Intuition Monday as far as what to present. Because I think what we need more of is seeing why these things are important. And yes, because I don't punch a clock for anyone else. We do need your contributions. Again, I already said the Cash App. I'll just put it into the description once this video is complete, so that we can continue to do these things, right? With ease, so to speak, as far as making sure that we have things. It's not like I'm, oh, let me take care of this mansion and this land conveyance and this jet and helicopter that I have. That's definitely not it. However, you want people to actually, survive and eat and things of that nature, and eventually if things don't come like that, I may have to find other, ways of expressing other talents that I have to be able to have resources for myself and my loved ones. It just is what it is. I'm industrious. That's how it goes, right? So I'm an industrious Moor. All right. So with that being said, any questions, comments, and or suggestions? Going once. Thank you all for joining us. Go to 7hillstar.com, sign up for our email list so you can get the email. Remember, we have literature. Remember, my first astrology coloring book, and you get these 3 other pieces of literature with it. This is the teacher's edition, though, because it has the finished cubes here. These cubes have the finish on them. So, it's $180 for the teacher's edition, right? However, to get the paper version, right, which is just as helpful and useful, is just, be careful, when using the paper versions, and make sure you're handling them yourself, whatever, but you'll be able to teach you little ones the astrology and be able to see things that are necessary. It is $60 for the versions that are the student versions. So the student versions are $60 and the teacher's editions are $180. All righty. Because I hand make all of these. I print them here in my printer here. I use my own resources, guys. All right. So I trust we don't complain about my industriousness. And I trust that you guys can appreciate that I put my own time and effort into it. I'm not having a third party like Amazon printing my books. I'm not knocking people that do that. But I do my own printing. I designed these. I prepared these literatures myself. First coloring book for astrology ever. There was never one that existed before this, right? And it says prepared by Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey. I designed all these myself. AdEp Invoking is my publication. All righty. AdEp Invoking prepared literature. All righty. And again, it is a coloring book, right? And there's some ideas that I have for you guys that get them, and you can preserve the coloring book. And I'll tell you how to preserve it. So you're not just like, man, I spent $60 on the coloring book in the blocks, and yeah, I got these other books, but I'm just saying, man, I have ways of sharing with you how to preserve it. All righty. You decide to get it for yourself. And it's very simple. You can just DM me if you know the number. You can text me or whatever, and I'll get you the Cash App, Zelle, or Google Pay, right? Consuelo says, extreme gratitude, dear brother. Indeed, beloved Mother Islam. So questions, comments, and no suggestions going twice. I'd like to see you all next day for Intuition Monday. We'll just see what I'll be going in on. I mean, there's always so much I got to share, a lot. I don't really think I've done things. Man, it's just so much more that I can do. You know what I mean? I could do a whole, set of new classes and all types of things. If you guys would want that, you know what I mean? I would just say, come prepared to compensate. I get it, it's a lot out there. And the goal is to get to a point where we don't have to use, the Federal Reserve notes, the Cash Apps and the Zelles and the Google Pays. That's the goal. But until we get there, the respect for what it is that I do is accepted. The respect is accepted in that form, right? Cash App, Zelle, Google Pay, right? Apple Pay also, all right? Questions and comments and or suggestions going thrice. There are no more questions, comments, and or suggestions. I love you all. We're going to do our invocation now. We're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on our right. And we're going to do our invocation out. We're going to stand on a 45-degree angle and face east. East, metaphysically, is symbolic to going within. And you can repeat after me either aloud or in your hearts. Islam, Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, noble Drew Ali. Ameen. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. And Islam to you also, Consuelo. If you guys got your eat on and it was great, excellent. Glad you did. If you didn't, go and eat well, right? Eat healthily as best as you can. And when you go to rest and recharge well. This is where I say on behalf of all of 7 Heal Star, right? I'm Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, and I thank you all for joining me this evening. See you next day for Intuition Monday. And this is where I say I love you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace and love.